This podcast is brought to you by the Prospect Research Institute, where researchers come to learn, innovate, and connect.
Really excited to work together with a small group of researchers to deliver qualified prospects and present our findings and results with the Resource Alliance committee members. I was also excited about receiving access to Prospect Research Institute's Approach to Prospecting course, which really helped me refine my prospecting and researching skills and grow professionally in my field, all while being able to support a greater cause.
Welcome to Prospect Research Chat Bites, a podcast by and for prospect research professionals. I'm Jennifer Filla. Today, I'm talking with Nilufa Begum, Senior Prospect Researcher at AMFAR, the Foundation for AIDS Research. Hello, Nilufa. Thank you for joining me today on Chat Bites.
Thanks, Jen. It's great to be here.
So before we jump into your experience as a volunteer researcher, I'm wondering if you'll share a little bit about how you came into prospect research and what you're doing now.
Yeah, sure. So I've worked and volunteered in the nonprofit sector on development and philanthropy teams for about 8 years. And in those roles, I've always held responsibilities related to prospect development and research. And as the years have gone on, I've just gained greater interest in pursuing a career in this field. Currently, I'm the senior prospect researcher at AMFAR, which is an international foundation for AIDS and HIV research. I am the only researcher on the development team, and so I take the lead in developing and implementing effective data-driven prospect research and fundraising strategies to support the efforts of frontline fundraisers, as well as senior leadership to generate revenue for all fundraising channels. This typically includes reactively and proactively identifying prospects both internally and externally from our CRM and utilizing research and prospecting tools and databases, as well as creating detailed research briefs, donor profiles, bios, event face sheets, prospect lists, and reports, and optimizing and reviewing portfolios. I also lead meetings with fundraisers to deliver qualified prospects, additional research findings, and recommendations on donor engagement and prospecting strategies.
That sounds like a lot of meetings. That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's tough being a small shop, but we get the work done, and it's been really great working with all these fundraisers.
It's also nice that, well, I'm someone who gets bored easily. So when I was a solo researcher, it was fun to be able to do all the different things. It kept it really interesting every day. And then way back in March, you volunteered to help a Ukraine nonprofit find donor prospects in the U.S., and you're working with a team of volunteer researchers. Would you be willing to share, like, what happened? Why did you want to do that? What's happened with that opportunity?
Yeah. So when I first heard about this opportunity, I heard it from a colleague as a professional development option at my work. And so I was really excited to work together with a small group of researchers to deliver qualified prospects and present our findings and results with the Resource Alliance committee members. I was also excited about receiving access to Prospect Research Institute's Approach to Prospecting course, which really helped me refine my prospecting and researching skills and grow professionally in my field, all while being able to support a greater cause. The volunteers and we've been meeting regularly and completed the course and used it as a framework for this project. We've interviewed fundraisers from NGOs in Ukraine and partnered with the Resource Alliance to develop aligned prospect search criteria and prospect strategies. We've also built prospect list of US-based prospective donors and delivered those prospective donors with contact information and research. And our completed work was also presented to the Resource Alliance bi-monthly committee meeting, which happened at the end of May 2023. But yeah, overall, it's been going really well. It's been really exciting to meet new researchers and working alongside them.
Right. So this project, the Resource Alliance, pulls together people internationally, and Ukraine NGOs were suddenly unable to do their usual fundraising in Ukraine. You know, people, they're in war. And so they had to look externally to the world, which is very intimidating.
Yeah.
I can't imagine doing that. So the work that you've done finding US prospects, is that similar to the prospecting and research work that you're doing for AMFAR, or is it different? Tell me about how it fits in with your current work.
Yeah, so overall, the process of prospecting and identifying potential donors, it's very similar across the board, but the criteria for identifying and qualifying those prospects, that's the part that's tricky and different because each NGO has their own specific needs, their different goals. And so, as together as a team, we've created different scoring models for each of these NGOs in Ukraine to identify those potential prospects and being able to deliver a set pool of potential donors that they can communicate and outreach with so that they can reach those fundraising goals.
And I guess in a similar vein, internally, I mean, this has made you, it's sort of turned you into an external consultant.
Yeah.
It's a consultant role, but you play a consultant role inside AMFAR.
Yeah. As a prospect researcher, you need to communicate all the findings that you do have and recommend strategies on how to cultivate those potential donors and being able to be a helpful hand and being able to provide what the fundraisers need so that way we can secure a gift out of them, which is really important.
It's a long road.
Yes.
Building a relationship across, countries is even more challenging than an already challenging environment of building relationships with existing donors.
Definitely.
What did you like about working together with other researchers on this project?
What I really enjoyed working with the other researchers is the collaboration of building a prospect list together, identifying different prospecting strategies and sources that we can use, and really taking an ownership and responsibility for ourselves and the team on making sure that we're delivering what the NGO fundraisers require from us and making sure we're hitting the timeline and delivering it in the manner that we need to. Overall, it's been really just being able to work together as a team and deliver really great prospects. That's been really useful for them.
I know that we heard some pretty moving stories from some of the Ukraine NGOs. How did that impact you in what you were doing?
So I personally don't have a personal connection to Ukraine, but working with the Ukraine NGOs, fundraisers, and hearing how the war has impacted on their overall fundraising work as well as their personal lives. It's drastically caused them to having to shift from their daily routines and all of that, and still being motivated to keep on pushing to do the great work that they have been doing for these years and wanting to continue to raise funds for their programs and their organizations. It's been difficult to hear these stories, but it's motivated me as well to wanting to pursue and provide all the help that I can from my end as a prospect researcher to help them reach their fundraising goals and being able to be supportive in a way that is very helpful and impactful.
Yeah, I found it hard to hear some of the stories. I remember one time I guess it was at the Resource Alliance Committee meeting where the woman was sharing how she hadn't slept because of the bombing, and how I think another person was telling us how the funds were coming in from some of these large funders, international funders, but they were restricted. And what do you do when a child isn't going to get the medicine that they need, and that they could die from that? Like, of course, you're going to use the funding to keep people alive. So having to make those kinds of choices really made me pause, and it was disturbing to think about. So
Yeah.
really, I'm very thankful that you and the team were willing to keep doing the work that's so needed.
Yeah, it was definitely devastating to hear and seeing them in that situation as well. It's difficult.
We're very fortunate here in the US. We have
Yes.
been, for sure. And volunteering in a team like that, it sounds like it was fun because, you're a solo researcher, but now suddenly you're not. You have a
Yeah.
team, and you had some pretty smart cookies on your team.
Yeah, it's been really great to work with these researchers also coming from really great organizations and really hearing what their prospecting strategies have been like and have they been able to implement it into this work as well and using those. Yeah, it's been really wonderful working with them alongside hearing different ideas and strategies and working together on ways we can build a really qualified solid prospecting list for these NGOs and being able to hear their insights.
That's great. Before I let you go, I'm wondering if you have any advice to offer other people who might think about participating in a volunteer project like this, either for this Ukraine project or on their own?
I highly recommend checking out Jen's Prospect Research Institute and their community forum. It has really great prospect research courses as well as free resources and a way to connect to other researchers who are always willing to offer a helping hand with any questions, any curiosities that you may come across in this field. And if you're interested in volunteering for the Ukraine Research Project, definitely reach out to Jen or even myself, and we'll help you get situated and joining on board. We're always looking for more volunteers. We're also looking for more NGOs in Ukraine who might find this type of work helpful for their fundraising teams. And so, yeah, definitely a wonderful field to grow your career in.
Thank you so much, Nilufa, for sharing. I really appreciate it, and for volunteering.
Thank you, Jen. It's been really great being here and really wonderful working alongside you as well as other researchers.
That was Nilufa Begum, Senior Prospect Researcher at AMFAR, the Foundation for AIDS Research. If you're interested in joining her and other volunteers to prospect for Ukraine nonprofit organizations, visit prospectresearchinstitute.org/volunteer-Ukraine. If you're interested in learning more about our courses, visit member.prospectresearchinstitute.org/courses.
Hey, if you enjoyed listening to this podcast, you have to come check out the Prospect Research Institute's learning community. It's a membership community with powerful resources, great discussions, and comprehensive courses. Check it out at member.prospectresearchinstitute.org. I'd love to have you join me as a member of the learning community. See you there.